Megan Fox.
And Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox writes at PJ Media.
Eat Tucker.
That was your last.
Damn it, man. I cried for 2 days.
Megan, thank you very much for that.
So, I can explain the bed thing.
If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the stake. Crawl there.
It's like Jesus going to the temple. He's like, I got a whip. Get out! Get out! The lovely and wonderful Megan Fox. Not that one.
Not that one. Not the weird one that drinks blood in his toe thumb.
Megan Fox.
Megan. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
She's the devil. Megan.
Megan Fox.
Megan.
Megan.
Megan Fox.
I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
You've never met a like me. You want to tangle? You want to go? Holy sh**.
Too much cussing on this. I guess we didn't bleep it, so we got to turn it off. But it's
Pissed off the wrong woman.
oh my God, I have been assaulted when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother.
She's the devil.
Not for publication.
The story.
I'm Megan.
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 Megan Fox. Thank you. Cheers.
Good evening, everybody. How are you? I'm Megan Fox. I write with pjmedia.com. I'm an author, a broadcaster, and your humble YouTube host. We're live on Rumble right now. We're live on YouTube and on Facebook. Shout out to my one viewer on Facebook. I don't know if they've got me completely shadow banned over there or what. There's always just one person watching on Facebook, which cracks me up every single time. Tonight is really going to be fun. I've been promising you guys, because after I wrote what I wrote about being a woman in journalism on the right, about, Sydney Watson's lawsuit, I told you guys that I was going to do a better job myself of getting more women on this program, because nothing against the guys. I love you guys, but we need to do I need to do a better job. If I'm going to complain about other people not doing it, I need to do it. So tonight I have invited Alison Morrow, who's she's a great journalist. She had an incredible journey through journalism, and I just wanted to get to know her better. And I wanted to invite her on here tonight to talk about, her journey in journalism and what that was like for her. And, we've got a lot to talk about. There's all kinds of news out there. There's a lot of fake news too. I've got a couple of fake news stories I want to go over with Allison, and she popped into the green room. So let's get her up on the screen here. Allison Morrow, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, you are never gonna. I'm literally still on hold with Delta. I didn't even know
Still?
we were gonna be live, but I figured, you know what? I'm waiting. Let me just tell everybody what's going on here. All right, listen. I'm taking 2 kids. This is a desperate measure. I'm taking my 2 kids that are under the age of 3 to Florida to escape winter. And also my husband travels a lot for work. So I have all this going on. Megan's awesome to let me come on her show while I'm basically dealing with high level and low level just BS right now on all sides. I have her on mute, so she can't hear me saying this about Delta. But the problem is, for some reason, I do this TSA pre-check thing, which I'm telling you, I'm already a little bit weary of, because I'm like, what kind of information do they have on me? Because I signed up for this and everything. And yet every single time, somehow they cannot get it on the itinerary. So why did I pay this money, and why did I give you all of my personal information so you could do these background checks on me if I can't even use the benefit of it? So I have literally been on hold with them for like an hour trying to, and I'm like, oh, I have plenty of time to get this done before I go on Megan's live stream. But no, I don't. Apparently,
that's all right. If she comes back, just take the call, turn your camera off, and you can come back when you're done.
I'll just mute myself. I'll mute myself. But I figure, yeah, we
or
might as well get started.
We can do a
I mean, who cares?
we can do a live expose on how bad Delta is. I mean, we could just do it right here.
I'm telling I don't mean to like, whatever, mean talk them, but this shouldn't happen every single time, right? Come on, you get the pre-check number. It's like, here's the number, put it on the itinerary, but this happens every single time. Okay, she's back.
Okay.
Can you hear her?
Yes.
I'll mute myself. All right.
Okay. My husband does the same thing. He does the pre-check, and he's never had a problem. So poor Allison. This is the life of a busy mother, by the way. I mean, this is what you got to do. How did we end up? By the way, we did not coordinate to both wear tie-dye today, but apparently there's something in the air, and we connected on the tie-dye front. Well, while she is taking that phone call, I want to tell you about my new favorite thing. Oh no, it's green. You're not going to be able to see it on my screen because my green screen's on. But I will show it to you on the website. So check this out. I was contacted by a company named bastionboltactionpens.com, and they wanted me to be an affiliate. And I said, well, send me your product. Let me see if I like it. Pens sounds like something that I would be into since I'm a writer. And they were right. I really do like their. You got it? You got it?
Oh.
You got it?
I got it. All right. Sorry. I just knew we were in the last final 3 minutes. That's why I just didn't want to hang out before the live stream. Okay. We did it, everybody.
Well, that's all right. I'm in the middle of a grift anyway. I was just grifting. So I was telling them about my new affiliate link, which is bastionboltactionpen.com. If you use a promo code MEG20, you get 20% off on a really cool bolt action pen. You can't see mine because it's green, so my green screen is interfering with it. But it's a very cool luxury pen, nice and heavy, and they've already gotten a couple of orders from some of you guys, which is awesome. And I highly recommend it. This pen is great, writes terrific, and I turned down a lot of these things because they're products I wouldn't use. But when a pen company contacted me, a writer, I was like, yeah, I'm into it. I'll do it. So check it out. Allison.
Megan never wastes an opportunity. I'm posting on Locals right now that we're live. But Megan,
remember when I took over your show?
Yeah, that was awesome. I was just about to say that. What am I calling this? We're live now on Megan's show. Did you have what's the title here?
I think
live with Allison.
I think I just made it Getting to Know Allison Morrow. I couldn't figure out what we were going to talk about. I knew it wouldn't be we wouldn't have any problem finding a topic, so I just
no. That's true. Okay, I'm just telling everyone that we're going to be talking about whatever. Talking with journalist Megan Fox. Join us. Okay, and I got the link. Yeah, you were saying that this is the life, man. I'll tell you, I don't know, other than you and actually Whitney Webb, I don't know many women with kids, or even men for that matter, who do this with kids, especially younger kids. Oh my gosh, I didn't even turn my lights on. Hang on. Oh my God. Okay, does that look better?
Looks good.
So, oops, did I leave?
No, you're good.
Oh my God, thank God. All right, I thought I'm a mess. So, okay, I don't know many people who try to do this thing with kids. I know a lot of single people. I know a lot of people who don't have kids, or maybe they have a spouse who's always home and, is taking care of them. But I don't know many people who do this, who legit, have legit parenting responsibilities, lots of parenting responsibilities, and then try to do this independent media thing. It's wild. I wouldn't trade it. I love the life I have. I get to be home with my kids and everything, but it's just, it's multitasking on crack, man. It's
right. Well, for
Yeah.
those of you in the chat who don't know, Allison is a former television reporter. She was in the media, the mainstream media, for a long time before she decided to chuck it all and start doing her own thing, independent media, kind of the same thing that I do. And she's also a YouTuber, and you're on Rumble as well, and you do streaming and you do videos. And I watched a little bit of one of your videos today that got me so jealous. I got to tell you, I'm so jealous of you. It was your explanation of why you left the mainstream press, and you were sitting in your unfinished camper. And I'm like, that's my dream, is to go get a camper and like travel around and just hang out in a camper with my husband and kids. And
It's
I can't
my
believe
dream
you did
too.
it. Did you do
It's
it
my
yet?
dream. No, it's still a dream. I mean,
Oh,
look at me.
no.
I could barely brush my hair. Actually, I didn't brush my hair. So we bought this Airstream in 2018. We got married in 2017, I think. Yeah. And so we, oh yeah, we're going to have this Airstream. We're going to renovate it. And then we're going to buy land and we're going to live in the Airstream while we build a house. And it was this very idyllic vision. And actually we did gut the Airstream. We bought it for $12K. Somehow somebody was kind of living in it before we bought it. I don't know. It just like the floor was moldy. It needed to be ripped up. So it really needed a lot of work, but that's how we got it for $12,000. Cause I don't know if you've checked out the price tag on an Airstream these days, but
they're
they're
insane.
It's
but
bad,
here's the problem. The Airstreams are so fragile almost that like if there's a hailstorm, you're screwed. Like it's going to dent the crap out of your Airstream. It's unfortunate, but like you can't make that. You have to like park it inside, and I don't know. I'm always worried about the Airstream because of what it's made out of.
I don't know. I thought Airstreams were supposed to be sturdy because they were built like airplanes, and
they're sturdy, but they can be easily dented for some reason. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, so like one of the things we found out about our Airstream, which is part of the reason why it's taken us so long to renovate it, is basically that somebody probably drove it off a cliff or something. I'm not really quite sure. There's a lot of front end damage. We didn't know until we ripped everything apart. So it's like we have to literally lift that silver aluminum shell. We have to lift that off of the frame.
Oh, wow.
And so it's been stuck at that juncture for 3 years.
Oh,
3
no.
years it has been stuck waiting for that lift. And it's something that really we probably could do, but we would need, my husband would have to be here for a lot longer than his business is picked up, which is good, but it means he's gone a lot more. And so we really just don't have like the time. Plus now we have 2 kids. So I was hoping to find somebody who might do that for us, would like lift the shell off the frame and then fix the shell that the parts of the paneling, the aluminum framing, or paneling that needs to be fixed. And I just can't find anyone. In part, it's because this is so popular now that people are booked out years. Now, the funny thing is in 2021, I called around and I was like, I found a guy actually near us and said, we had this Airstream and we really needed some help. And he's like, well, I could take it on, but not till 2023. And I was like, 2023? I'll probably be dead by then. That's forever from now. I just didn't even think about the fact that we could possibly still be in the exact same position in 2023.
Wow.
And so if I had just signed it up, that guy probably would have taken it. Anyway, I found a guy in Montana who also does he specializes in basically like broken Airstreams, ones that have been in accidents and whatnot. So I thought, okay, for sure, this guy will do it. And even he won't take it. He said he doesn't want to put his good reputation on our Airstream.
Julie has noticed. Julio has noticed that we're matching. Somehow we did this and we weren't communicating to wear matching tie-dye. It just happened. Yeah,
that's true.
It just happened.
That's funny. I know. I just threw mine on because I love this sweatshirt and it's like I don't know, hippie professional.
And I threw this on because I was wearing a green shirt and realized that I couldn't wear it because I'm using the green screen. And I was like, oh, darn it. Oh. So I just went and threw something else on.
That's
and just
funny.
happened to be tie-dye. So that's funny. Life gets in the way, though. Life gets in the way, especially when you have little ones and you have little kids. I have bigger kids. My youngest is 8, but my oldest is 17 and the middle one is 13. And she's having a sleepover right now. My house is full of teen girls.
Oh, nice.
It's a cackling nightmare out there. They're all, yelling and screaming and giggling. And I made macaroni and cheese and pizza bites. And there's like a cheese tray. So they're on their own. I'm like, there's stuff downstairs. You guys go do that. hopefully I won't get interrupted.
So it's a Wednesday night, so they can have sleepovers midweek with school and everything?
They're on a winter break.
Oh, okay.
We have like 2 spring breaks. We have winter break and then we have spring break, which is kind of great. Everybody needs a break in February. February is the longest month. But I'm doing this. I'm single parenting this week too, because my husband's traveling as well. I think we were like, yeah, we're both doing that this week.
Yeah.
So I had to change my streams around. I usually stream during the day, but I've started doing them at night this week because the kids need me during the day. But Lord, this full-time, like being a mom and then also trying to hold down a job. Like I write columns. I try to write them every day. And then I also do streaming about 3 times a week. It's tough, man. I have to get it all done before they come home from school. And then there's all the housework to get to, and it's difficult. Did you ever end up buying your land? Do you have the land that you wanted, or?
We're hoping this year is when we make that purchase. And I think though we're going to find a place that is basically livable, but might have some value added opportunities, just not something that's, hurricane damage or something that would require a total rebuild. We've gotten an honest assessment of our ability to task, stay on task and do things like this. And it's not good. So we're not. The big question though, is whether we should continue on with the Airstream or just sell it. On one hand, we've been through so much with this Airstream that it's like, if we were to just give up and try to start over with something else, well, first off, we would lose some money, not a ton of money, but we would probably lose some money on it. The other thing too, though, is like the Airstream that we could afford would require having to renovate it at some point anyway. Now you might say, well, yeah, okay, maybe 10 years from now, you'll have the time to renovate. And maybe we should do that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the chat could tell us, should we sell or should we stay on task? I don't know. At this rate, it feels like we're probably moving out of Washington. That's where we lived right now, in Eastern Washington. When I was a reporter, we were in Western Washington because I was in Seattle, and I quit my job in Seattle. And then so my husband and I moved out of the west side. Washington's a very different state when you move over the Cascade Mountains to the east side of the state. They're almost like 2 separate countries. And we really like it on the east side because there's less gloom, less rain. It is colder, though. It's right now -15 with wind chill, which is not normal. That's not like what we deal with every day, but it's much colder. But anyway, that said, I'm done with this cold. I'm from Florida. I don't want to deal with winter until June. So we're going to live somewhere else. I don't know exactly where yet. However, the big question is, do we take the Airstream with us or do we just dump it here somewhere and try to make back a little bit of what we lost? I don't know.
Hey, it's tough. It's tough. Things change. You got to roll with the punches. But I came across some news today, some major fake news that I thought you would be a good person to talk to about this, because I can't even believe this crap. Fake news. All right. There is a giant fake news story. Huge, I tell you, huge. And it's really making me angry. Like, I don't know if you ever get angry looking at the news, Allison, but sometimes I get a visceral reaction. And my reaction to this was I wanted to punch the screen when I saw this today. So let's pull up this tweet. This Representative Andy Biggs, he took 2 screenshots from the New York Times. He says, shame on the media, medical professionals, and politicians who pushed false narratives and destroyed the lives of millions of Americans during the pandemic. As most Americans suspected from day one, COVID masks and the vaccines are virtually useless. And today in the New York Times, yesterday writes, the mask mandates did nothing. Will any lessons be learned? And just a couple days ago, NBC printed this: immunity acquired from a COVID infection is as protective as vaccination against severe illness and death, study finds. Now, I don't know about you, Allison, but I was on this bandwagon from the very beginning, saying we need herd immunity, and we were silenced and censored if we said this. And if we said that masks didn't work, you would get your YouTube channel demonetized and taken down. And then I go over to the New York Times because I'm like, well, I got to read this opinion, right? I got to read this opinion article. It can't be as good as I think it is going to be, right? Oh, it's way, way better. So the most rigorous and comprehensive analysis of scientific studies conducted on the efficacy of masks for reducing the spread of respiratory illnesses, including COVID-19, was published late last month. Its conclusions, said Tom Jefferson, the Oxford epidemiologist who is its lead author, were unambiguous. There is just no evidence that they, the masks, make any difference, he told the journalist. Full stop. But wait, hold on. What about N95 masks as opposed to lower quality surgical or cloth masks? Makes no difference. None of it, said Jefferson. Now, you want to hear the part that's really bad? Get this. Oh my gosh, this really makes me upset. So it says here that nobody fared any better with the mask versus without. But look at this. When it comes to the population level benefits of masking, the verdict is in. Mask mandates were a bust. Those skeptics who were furiously mocked as cranks and occasionally censored, occasionally, he should reword this, always censored, as misinformed for opposing mandates were right. The mainstream experts and pundits who supported mandates were wrong. In a better world, it would behoove the latter group to acknowledge their error along with its considerable physical, psychological, pedagogical, and political costs. Don't count on it. In congressional testimony this month, Rochelle Walensky, director of the CDC, called into question the Cochrane analysis reliance on a small number of COVID-specific randomized controlled trials and insisted that her agency's guidance on masking in schools wouldn't change. How does that make you feel?
You know, this is personal for me because when I quit TV news, I took a job with the Washington Department of Natural Resources, and that's what I was doing as a day job when I got into this alternative media world. I never talked about my day job. I kept them very separate. But when they found out that though they knew I had a podcast, in part, they hired me for my YouTube channel, but that was before COVID, right? So when they found out that I had started to interview scientists who were saying what you just read, or doctors who were questioning the vaccine mandates or questioning the vaccine itself, they told me that in order to maintain my employment, and this is a government agency, to maintain my employment, I had to stop interviewing people who were undermining their vaccine mandate. I refused. So first time probably government's ever followed through on its word. They followed through on their word and fired me. So I lost my job over what you just read because they were saying that was misinformation, that I was letting people spread misinformation. I was associating with people who were spreading misinformation. And we lost our health insurance. We lost my income, all that stuff. So when I read this stuff, I mean, how many people are there like me? Granted, lots of people got fired over the mandates based on the opposite of what you just read, right? So then how all these people whose lives were just completely upended, and then those of us like myself who were giving voice to those people, then we were also axed from society, from our jobs, or be ostracized from whatever else groups, because we're called conspiracy theorists or crazy or whatever else. And now it's just like
families,
over.
Friends stop speaking to one another. Families stop speaking to one another. My God.
Yeah, it's this silence and kind of the crickets around this shift, how all this is now just being talked about like it was nothing. And yet at the same time, I think what's really bewildering to me is the same people who are now allowing for these questions to be asked, for the narrative to shift, are not somehow connecting the dots that they got it wrong, and therefore have no right, or really they are being irresponsible to advocate for censorship given their track record. I mean, if you could show me your perfect track record, I still would disagree with censorship, but I would tell you at least it would make sense that you could do it because you've proven yourself to be perfect in understanding what's true and what's false. But when you're blatantly wrong at being able to detect the truth from the fiction, why do you think you in any way, shape, or form should be in control of what people should be able to hear or see?
And yet this Rachel Walensky, this Walensky person is still going to be in charge of the CDC, and she's going to stand there and stick to her guns and say, "I do it again."
Yeah. It's I just think the ego, or some communications person said you should say that. Having worked in a smaller government agency, though I will say my old boss, the Commissioner of Public Lands, is going to run for governor of Washington State, and she's going to be one of the primary contenders. So even, in my small agency, there's going to be a lot of, power and control of the way people think and feel. So all the way from the small agencies to the large agencies like the CDC. What I've noticed is because I asked this question about my old boss too. What is it? She's a true believer, or does she really get it, but she's a liar? And I think at the end of the day, it's like their egos are so impenetrable. They just cannot. They can't. Like if they had the humility in order to backtrack or to say they're wrong now, they probably would have had the humility back then to not do what they did. So it's consistent with their personality to continue driving the train off the tracks, right? And I think in the cases I've seen, it's just it too, having worked for a communications team, none of these people are just saying this without being groomed by somebody behind the scenes. Like, you should say this, you should say that. And there's a staff behind the scenes telling these people you should continue on in this direction. It's not just her. So I don't know what to make of it, other than the fact that I think these people are like legitimately spiritually and psychologically blind, and do a lot of evil in the name of benevolence. I think that's one of the most.
Yeah, I think they're malicious. I think it's maliciousness. And I like this part. This is pretty brilliant. This is what the author's thought is on it. The costs go deeper. When people say they trust the science, what they presumably mean is that science is rational, empirical, rigorous, receptive to new information, sensitive to competing concerns and risks, also humble, transparent, open to criticism, honest about what it doesn't know, and willing to admit error. The CDC's increasingly mindless adherence to its masking guidance is none of those things. It isn't merely undermining the trust it requires to operate as an effective public institution. It is turning itself into an unwitting accomplice to the genuine enemies of reason and science, conspiracy theorists and quack cure peddlers, by so badly representing the values and practices that science is supposed to exemplify. This is so true. This is so true. This guy just is nailing every single part of this, including what you just said about humility, right? They lack the humility and the honesty to just say, I was wrong. We were wrong. We didn't know.
Right. Yeah. I think if there's one positive outcome of the last few years, it's, I hope that people realize those who are in charge don't necessarily know what they say they know. They aren't necessarily as qualified as they say they are. They're people who should be questioned constantly, and our rights should be protected constantly. It's a daily battle, really, to continue to stand up for what we took for granted, I think, prior to this. And that goes for medicine, science, food, for instance. And that's one of my big areas of interest. Stop just assuming that the powers that be have your back and have your best interest at heart, and start getting real about your own life and take charge of the decisions that you're making for yourself and your family, and read labels, and go to city council meetings, and get off the couch, and start like engaging in your life. And I hope that that's one positive outcome. I do think a concerning outcome is that, like, there's so much paranoia now that, listen, there are doctors out there that are there to help, and can help. But I know people who have like stayed home and died instead of going to the hospital, because they're just like, what are they going to do to me? They're going to lock me up. They're going to shoot me up with remdesivir. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. And they're scared of going to see the doctor now. And
there's no respect for informed consent anymore.
Right. And I mean, I don't blame people for feeling that way at all. But like, I think that there's a middle ground where it's like, take what you've learned. If you feel like you need to go to the hospital, go, but ask them every single question you need to ask them throughout the entire process of whatever they're going to do to you. You know what I mean? Right. Don't just take whatever they say and do whatever they say. If you go see your doctor, but be be researched about what they're going to say to you versus what the other options are. See several doctors, you know, I mean, my family has like a pediatrician and a naturopath. And when our kids are sick, we tend to get the opinions of both sides. And then we discuss it, my husband and I, and then we make a decision based on what we feel is best. You know, usually the conventional medicine doctors we go to for emergencies only. And if there's a chronic problem or something that's not an emergency, we go to our naturopath. And we like having the different sides of and learning more about what's out there. And then, you know, like I gave birth in a hospital. A lot of people are, oh, you know, why would you give birth in a hospital? This is a terrible place. Because a lot of my viewers are like all about home birth. That's great. I don't have the guts to have a home birth.
Me either.
5 minutes.
I thought about it. And then I was like, nope, I need a spinal block.
Well, you know what? I gave birth naturally this last time. I was induced the first time, but we live 45 minutes from the hospital. You know, if something happens,
that's a long ride.
I'm not waiting for an ambulance to come and then like an hour later we get to the hospital. Like, but at the same time, you know, I had basically as natural as you could possibly have in a hospital with my last birth. It took me 36. They wanted to induce me. It took me 36 hours to, you know, go into like really active labor and have the kid. And every 2 hours, the doctor would come in, let's induce. And you know what? I was informed about the needs for induction or lack thereof in my particular case, because my water had broken. And of course they freak out. Oh, you're going to have an infection. It's not true. But because I was informed about it, like I had actually a great birth experience in a hospital, and you can do that too. It's just that you have to come equipped with the information. Now that may suck to say, well, I thought my doctor was supposed to have the information. Well, yeah, in a perfect world, your doctor would have all the information. I hate to break it to you, but doctors are people too. And I had a pediatrician once when I sent her a study about something that she was pushing on us. And she's like, I don't have time to read that. So assume that you might be better read than they are on food, on, you know, all kinds of issues, and come informed. And you know what? Talk to them about it. Because you know what? At the end of the day, actually, you may change their mind, which in my particular case, our doctor with our last birth, he said to me at the end, you know what? It's never good to practice medicine out of fear. And I feel like that was a real moment of growth. You know, it's like, I was really afraid and I was practicing medicine out of fear and I shouldn't have been doing that. And I'm like, that's awesome. You know? And so, you know, I do think though, it's kind of best case scenario, like we all walk away from this experience and we become better educated about just how corrupt the system is and how important it is for us to be educated for our own lives and our own decisions.
I also think sometimes the medical industry treats each person as the same instead of treating them as an individual.
Risky. Yeah,
and they don't accept your own level of risk. Like for instance, I go to the dentist. I just want a cleaning. I don't want your deep gum cleaning. I don't want x-rays. I don't want you to irradiate my head. I'm 46 years old. I don't have one cavity. So when I go in and they say, we need to open your gums. And I'm like, no, thank you. Oh, but we really need to open your gums. No, thank you. And I had to yell at this woman the last time and say, hey, listen, I don't care if my teeth rot and fall out of my head. I'm not getting that procedure and you can't make me. And if you continue doing this, I don't know why you're doing it. Do you know what informed consent means? Not everyone wants the same things. I just want the minimum you can do to my teeth. That's what I want. I want the cleaning with the electric brush. I don't even want that sonic thing. I don't want that either. I just want you to just do the cleaning. That's it. And it took me I had to get into a fight with two women before they would just clean my teeth. So I think that they tried to treat everybody like on a conveyor belt. And for me, that doesn't work. Let me clear up some of these super chats for a sec, and then we'll get right back to it. Julio says, I think a Megan, Allison, Danny family court smash up would be sweet. Girl power. I agree with you. Danny's great. I talked to her today on Legal Vice's stream about a family court matter in Missouri. We're definitely going to I contacted her today. We're definitely going to do something on that as well. Thanks for the super chat. Really, it makes me so happy when you guys send dollars out of your wallets for the show. I'm always thrilled. Sir Ian says, I smacked the like button because girl journos are awesome. More girl journos in the world than less girl doctors. Kidding. Love you, Meg. This is the Megan Fox we should follow, says Larry. I agree, Larry. I agree. And
hey, there's another Allison Morrow too at CNN. So we both have. No
wonder everyone was like, "Is she the one on CNN?" I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah, and I get hate mail all the time because she writes stupid articles like why inflation's good for poor people and things like that. And then people send me. Did I tell you there's this guy who sent me an email and he's like, I just had to leave groceries at the checkout because I couldn't afford it since gas is so high. Go F yourself. That's what he told me.
Oh no.
And I'm like, I think you have the wrong Allison. So.
Oh no. Yeah, well, I get all the time. Whenever Megan Fox is trending, my DMs get super weird. Like super weird.
Yeah.
In fact, I had another Megan Fox contact me, another one who's not that one. And she was like, I think I'm being stalked by this guy. Have you heard from, does he text you too? And I'm like, yes. And she was asking me, what should I do about it? And I was talking her how to go to the police because she's local where this guy is. It's just craziness when you have the same name as somebody people either love or hate.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Somebody's out there. Well, back to your like conveyor belt of hell thing. It's not even just that it's like everyone's the same, but it's everyone's the same plus worst case scenario. So they treat everybody the same, and they treat you as if you came in with the possible most worst possible situation.
Right.
And so that's why their interventions often go bad, because they don't care about they see intervention as, and I learned this once again, like going back to the birth of our last producer, as we call him, when I was talking with the doctor about like why he kept coming in and asking me when it was like 2 hours ago, I just told you I don't want to be induced. He just kind of admitted basically that it's like we would rather just like try something, versus they don't look at their interventions going wrong as going wrong. They look at it as like, well, we tried. Exactly. But if they
no one told me, by the way, that deep cleaning that they wanted to do would open me up to blood infections that could in fact kill me. That could kill me. And I knew that. And I said to her, why didn't you tell me that there's a risk of dying with this procedure? You didn't even tell me that. And if I didn't know it and I just said, yeah, okay, do it, and then I died, how would you explain that to my children? You know?
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad you brought up the dentist, because this is my latest challenge right now. Medical challenges. I haven't been to the dentist a couple years, not necessarily because I've been meaning to avoid them or anything. It's just lots has happened. And the last time I went, yeah, right. Well, the last time I went, I hadn't been in 3 years. I had no cavities, and they still were like, "Wow, you have great gum." They never want to ask, well, how do you have, such healthy gums and teeth without going to the dentist? They don't care. But so I go back to this first time going to like a biological, as they call them, natural dentist, and I didn't want the X-rays either, like you were talking about. I said I didn't want X-rays unless there was a medical necessity. This is my thing. I'm willing to do conventional medicine. You got to tell me what the necessity is. So we were going back and forth, and the dentist finally goes, "Listen, I am trying to be reasonable with unreasonable people." Okay. And I go, "Whoa, wait a second. Are you saying I'm unreasonable?" I mean, I literally
back.
I know. So I that was the first thing. And then he finally just admitted, he's like, "Well, what if you call me on a Friday night and you get an abscess and you're like, I'm at the movies with my wife, and you're like, I need you to fix my teeth because I have an abscess and I could have seen it earlier if I'd done the X-ray." And I'm like, "I'm not going to call you on a Friday night. And who goes to the movies anyway anymore? Nobody goes to the movies."
You're not going to the movies. Who are you kidding?
And I'm like, "I'm not going to do that." That's the reason that you want me to get an X-ray? That doesn't even make any sense. And so then he goes, "Well, it's a liability." And I found out that literally, like, as you were bringing up, if you call a dentist, everybody who's watching this, try it. Call a dentist that you think will see you without getting X-rays. And I guarantee you, even though this guy didn't, he like let me off the hook this one time because I was so annoying, but I bet you $1 million they will force you to get X-rays. And there's some kind of I bet you an insurance liability thing, because that's basically what my dentist admitted to me was.
Liability. I think they just get paid. And every time they take X-rays, they get paid. And your insurance pays for a certain number of X-rays every year. So they want to make sure they do them. Period.
Maybe, but I have a feeling that this guy in particular is just like, I just don't want to get sued. But to me, it's really problematic for you to practice medicine based on. Listen, I also can kind of see that perspective. I get it. Like we are a very like litigious culture. On the other hand, just doing things to people so you don't get sued, to me, is really problematic from a medical standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. Michael, you have a good question here. It says, how would the sonic cleaning have a negative effect? Well, they did it on me on a couple of teeth because and I didn't know what it was at the time. So I just said, okay, they said they were going to do it. And I said, fine. Well, they didn't warn me that I could have increased sensitivity in those teeth. And for the next 2 weeks, my teeth hurt because I have sensitive teeth and they hurt like hell. And I got really ticked off. Like, you should have told me that this could happen, because I would have told you I don't want it because I have very sensitive teeth. So please don't. But they didn't tell me. So I just like the little toothbrush, you know, the electric toothbrush they use. That's all I want. Just dig around in there with the metal thing and give me the cleaning and then let me go.
Yeah, and it makes me think now that since I saw this guy, I've had sensitive teeth issues that I didn't have, but they didn't even do a deep cleaning or anything. He just dug around in my teeth, and then all of a sudden I come back and
did he use that little sonic thing though? You might not have even
no,
noticed.
no, just like the pick. It was just like picking around.
Are you sure?
Because harder because
you might not have noticed.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so.
Unless he told you he was going to use it, you might not have noticed at the time because you can't really feel it.
I don't know. I wasn't getting a cleaning. It was just an exam.
Oh, okay. Well, then they probably didn't.
Yeah, but still, I've had issues. Anyway, long story short, I want a second opinion, but I just it's so annoying to like go through this every single time. Like, but you know what? Whatever. It's my cross to bear, I guess. He said, "Does this hurt?" I remember him going, Does this hurt? And I was like, well, define hurt. You know, I've got a pretty high pain tolerance. And he's like, well, it hurt like you want to punch me. And I'm like, well, I've wanted to punch you for the last 30 minutes. So you think of a new thing.
My uncle is a dentist and he's an old school dentist. You know, he's in his 70s. And I always go to him with my x-rays because for the last time they took the x-rays, by the way, even though I didn't want them to. I said I didn't want to, but I said, okay, I'll let you do it because it has been a few years. So I'll let you do it the one time. Well, she screwed it up and then she wanted to do it again. And I said, absolutely not. I won't do it twice. So I had the x-ray that she did take sent over to my uncle. And this was after they told me I needed the deep cleaning. And I said, what do you think? Do I need a deep cleaning? He said, absolutely not. That's baloney. You don't need, your teeth are perfect. Your gums are perfect. You don't need any of that. He said, the reason they do it, and they're taught this in the dentistry schools now, is that they're just upselling you is what they're doing.
Right.
They're upselling you on the next thing. And they perform as many of these as they possibly can, even if you don't need it. And you definitely don't need it. How sick is that?
Yeah, I totally know that happens. My dad's a surgeon and he works with students, surgery residents, and they're taught always that the best medicine is the latest thing that came out instead of looking at, well, what's the side effect? Is it better or worse than the other medicine? Like my dad was talking to somebody about a blood thinner and they're like pushing the latest thing they've been taught in school and didn't know there was no reversing agent for it. So, you know, my dad was like, I would never use that because what happens if you make some kind of mistake or that there's an issue on the operating table, you can't reverse what that medicine is doing. It may work faster or be more efficient in all these other ways, but you can't reverse it, you know? And it's like that ego and hubris again, that comes in like, well, I'm not going to need to. So he was telling me, constantly they're being told that it's the latest, greatest thing is what you do. And I don't know.
I want the least amount of intervention.
That's how I am too. Yeah.
That's my philosophy. I want the least amount of medicine. I want the least amount of intervention. And I don't know why these people are not hearing me. It's like I'm not speaking English that's coming out of my mouth. I'm saying to you, I don't want anything unless it's absolutely medically necessary. And if I don't get it, I'm going to suffer some kind of immediate consequence. That's my philosophy on medicine.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
For some reason, they just don't hear you. Blurple Dragon, thanks for the super chat, says #dentistphobe. I'm not, though. I love my uncle, who is my favorite dentist of all time. And I love my old school dentist. And that's the thing he said. He said, look for an older man or woman who's been doing this for a while. The younger ones are all trained with this upselling crap. And like you're saying, that always the new stuff is the best. And it's not always the best. And we should be looking for the older, but unfortunately they're retiring or dying out, which is really sad. Jonathan, thanks for the super chat, says Walensky doubling down is like Gavin Newsom and numerous other politicians being seen not masking when masking was mandatory. They are doing it openly to signal that they are elites and we are the plebes. It's true. It's true. I can't argue with that at all. Thank you very much for the super chat. And Crafty Fly Lady says, I do not have insurance and they never press the x-ray issue with me. Now, isn't that telling?
I don't know if that's the case. I don't have insurance for dental either. And I'm self-pay and they still pushed it with me. So
do they?
Yeah.
Do they? Oh man.
They don't care. They know they're actually they'll get more money from you than your insurance company. So honestly, what I've learned being self-pay, we do have like a cost sharing program that reimburses us, but I don't think we have dental through them. But the hospital practice or the dental office, they don't know this. They just know I'm self-pay. So they don't know I'm going to get reimbursed. And they actually they like it better. They'll reduce your fee a little bit, but they tend to get paid faster and in full versus the insurance companies that argue with them constantly. And that's why they often inflate the prices, because insurance companies will argue with them and only end up paying like 50% or 45% of what was billed.
True.
So
I also hear that if you don't have insurance, you can negotiate with doctors a lot easier.
Yeah.
Rush Limbaugh used to talk about this all the time because he refused to have insurance, and he would pay cash, and he would go in and just basically negotiate and say, whatever the hospital bill was. Well, okay, so it's 100 and whatever thousand. Well, I'll give you 40,000 cash right now.
Yeah,
and they'll go, and they usually go, okay,
Yeah.
But of course that takes a cash reserve to be able to do that.
Yeah, if I had his money, I'd totally do that too. Because the amount of money that you spend on insurance, if you're a healthy person, you may never see that money again. Yeah, it's a lot of money. My dad, again, to quote him as a physician, he's like, the richest people that I know are not doctors. They're health insurance salesmen. Those are the people that have boats, big boats and vacation homes and whatever. They're insurance salespeople. And they make a lot of money based on this system that really doesn't work very well. I don't know what the answer is, other than I will say that this cost sharing program stuff that we're doing now, I do like. I think the rates are a lot more affordable. If you are self-employed like I am, it was more affordable when I had a job to have conventional insurance, because the employee insurance, I guess it was half of what I'm paying now. However, like, I'll just give you the numbers. When I was employed with the government, and even back when I was in TV news, my insurance was, well, for myself, it was like I think it was it $300 every 3 months. It was like $100 a month. It was really cheap when I was in TV news through the union. And then, which was like the only thing the union ever did for us. Yeah. And then when I was at DNR, it was like $200, and that was for me and our daughter before our son was born. My husband has VA insurance, which the whole VA system sucks, but that's what we have. So then, to keep my insurance, once DNR fired me, Kaiser Permanente was quoting me $2,100 a month to go from $200 to $2,100 a month to maintain the same insurance. And what we're paying now for 3 people was I think we're paying like $500 a month. So and if it had just been the 2 of us still before Jack was born, it was $450. So I went down from $2,100 a month for Kaiser Permanente to do self insurance to $450 a month, which is not bad for the 2 of us. Now it's up to $515 or something for the 3 of us.
I don't even know what we're paying, and we have a family of 5. And the last time I looked was probably 6 years ago, and it was over $800 a month. So it's got to be way worse than that now. It's probably like $1,500.
I mean, the only reason you really have it is because
for catastrophic.
Yeah. I mean, it just would be terrible to end up in a situation where you owe like $150,000 in hospital bills, and it totally cripples
But
you.
everybody thinks, though, that if you keep paying this money and something catastrophic does happen to you, you're covered. That's not true.
It's not always true. You're right.
They will only cover you to a certain amount, and then you can lose your insurance. So it's not necessarily, you're not necessarily paying for actual like being insured for a situation like that, because I've known that to happen to people, which is terrible. Rumble, there's a Rumble rant I want to get to. Raceland 9000, so thank you for the Rumble rant, says, I'm between dentists and I got some cold sensitivity in my crown. Last time my brother went to Mexico for good dentistry. That's scary.
I know a lot of people that go to Mexico for drugs and dentistry and healthcare.
Wait. Drugs and dentistry and healthcare. What do you mean, pharmaceuticals?
Medicine.
Oh, for medicine.
Like
okay.
Yeah. Well, they'll go to Mexico to like buy stuff over the counter that here you have to get a prescription, or it just costs like $1 million more. I know people that like live in Texas and they just go over the border to do that kind of stuff. Very cheap. Yeah. And actually, and they say it's better. They care better. I don't know. Can't speak for it, but
I mean, look, you know what I'm finding out? There is actually quite a large expat community in Mexico.
Yeah.
I actually know people who are retiring to Mexico. And
It's beautiful.
Apparently,
if you don't
like
end
it's
up getting abducted by a
Yeah.
cartel.
right. If you don't end up getting kidnapped by the cartel, it's super cheap and there's, has great food. And apparently they're loving every minute of it. There's a whole expat community. There is a thing I think that sometimes we suffer from as being Americans, and like we love our country, obviously. But we do get stuck in the idea that there's no other place on earth that we could possibly be happy or possibly exist. And I think that I have learned that that's not true based on one of my friends moved from here to Ecuador and has been having a fantastic life, like just totally different life, though. It's like a completely different life. It's not a place where you can go to a Walmart, obviously. So you
Right.
have to it's kind of like living very, very rural.
Yeah.
And of course it's less safe. You're going to have riots, and you're going to have, who knows, but it doesn't mean that this place is any safer, because the truth is that like we have a whole lot of problems in this country too. We really do.
Yeah, one of the things I think I've noticed having traveled to like other countries, like South Africa, for instance, where the corruption is a little more, actually, it's like more available to the average person. So, for instance,
we could use that. I could use more availability to the corruption.
That's what I'm saying.
myself.
Like, if there's going to be corruption, then like let me play too.
Let me play too. Why can't I play?
So there, you can bribe cops and all kinds of things to get shit done, right? But here you can't do that. Only the people in charge get to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I was just covering this story. We were talking about it today on Legal Vices of this judge who just slapped some kids in jail because he was trying to coerce them to go do what he wanted. So he just threw him in jail. And he's never going to go to jail for this. Like he can do that. But if I falsely incarcerated some kids because I wanted them to do their homework, and let's say I had some children who wouldn't do their homework, and I handcuffed them and locked them in a cell for 2 days, do you think I would get off without jail time? I don't think so. But you're right. The corruption needs to be more available to the rest of us.
Yeah. That's what populism is all about, right? No. But seriously, like you were saying, there's a trade-off. But I don't know. I think more and more we're probably starting to learn that the United States of America has some serious reckonings ahead. At least I think so. I don't know if we've just completely peaked or what, but
I think so.
Big for our britches.
We peaked in 2018, I think, was really the peak of America, 2018, and it's been downhill since then. And it's going so fast downhill that I almost can't keep up. I feel like I'm blacking out from the speed of it, and I find myself asking every day, "Is this real? Is this real?" Because it doesn't feel real.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. When it comes to the question of reality, I tell people all the time now, one of the reasons why I think for me, my husband has, I think, different reasons, but for me, I'm very interested in kind of the homesteading life and gardening and having livestock and all that stuff, which we eventually hope to do. I do have a garden. I mean, not right now. It's -15 outside, but when it's nice out.
Right. Me too.
Because I've realized that you really don't know anything is truly real unless you can see it and touch it, smell it. Like we invest so much energy worrying about things that we'll never really ever be able to truly confirm right or wrong. And we get involved in these disagreements and these public spats, and we pick teams and tribes based on information that we're relying on people to give us to be accurate. And we don't know. I mean, just all this, like you were covering all this insane implosion of conservative media.
Yeah.
And I mean, people are so emotional about their person. And it's like, how do you really know? This is a stranger. Like, how do you really know that this person is who you think they are? And how do you know that you're not the wrong person, or that there isn't some truth to what the other side is saying? I mean, how do you really know? And so this like, just, I don't know, ferocious tribalism that people engage in based on information that you really don't know is entirely true. I'm not saying disregard everything and just live in this world of like, there's no such thing as truth, but just realize that like, you might be wasting a lot of time on stuff that you'll never really be able to confirm when your own life is wasting away in front of you.
Right.
So like participate in your own life.
Clean your room. Clean your room.
Clean your room. Yeah, like George Peters or that other guy, the Navy Admiral guy.
Yeah.
Clean your room. Yeah, I mean, I used to have the opposite life. I was all about my career and like constantly chasing all this information that I was like putting on the news as if I had any idea it was really true. And I didn't have time to really vet that stuff. I've told that story many, many times on my channel, like just how one of the main issues being a reporter who does have like their heart in the right place, wants to do a good job, is that like you really just do not have the time and resources to do the job you need to do. And yet you present yourself as an authority every time you go on television. That's a problem. That's hypocrisy. And once I woke up to that hypocrisy, that was when I quit, because I just didn't realize what I didn't know. So then the question was like, okay, well, what's all this other stuff that I don't know? And do I even want to participate in this economy of like information war? So now with the way I handle the interviews I do and everything, it's kind of like, I'm just learning. I'm not here to endorse this person or push this agenda on you or whatever. A lot of my subscribers know way more than I do. And I'll talk to anybody because frankly, I'm just not emotionally invested or psychologically invested in like them having to be the hero of the day. Like if they end up being a total crank later, you know what, whatever. I listened to them. I heard what they had to say. I gave my audience the opportunity to hear what they had to say. Move on, go make dinner for your family, have a glass of AllisonWinePromo.com, which Megan knows because she's been on my show. But
absolutely.
Live your life, stop getting in, spending, if you're spending all this time in the comment section arguing about your person on the internet, I mean, come on, like let's
a lot of emotional energy too, to be giving up to someone else or something else. There is such a thing as emotional energy, and like giving away, giving that away to something that really doesn't matter personally to you is kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah. I mean, people think it matters personally to them because I don't know if we've just been like sucked into this world where like our devices have become so real to us that we think like that is reality, but it's not, I mean, well, I guess, in part it is. Okay. I'm not going to say that there isn't real stuff happening there that has real consequences for our lives. But at the end of the day, like, balance the amount you're putting in with the benefit of that. Like do a cost benefit analysis of where you're spending your time and energy. Like if you can spend more time like growing a vegetable and then you actually get to eat it, to me that like cost benefit is much better than being in a comment section arguing with, I smoke crack for Jordan Peterson or whatever, like, whatever the random things are that people name themselves. And then you don't even know who they are even a real person, or like sticking up for, to the cost of your sanity, one or another public figure that you feel like is getting hosed by one or another corporate organization. Okay, maybe you say to your friend over dinner, like, I think that guy got hosed. Great, move on. Now talk about your families and just do something else. Like stop. I just have found like the same phenomena that really, I think, not the only things, but some of the phenomena that have really taken down the news industry are very alive in the independent world, and it's going to create the same problems, and maybe already has, and that's what we're seeing with this like implosion, that there are similar dynamics at play, and I just think in part that's because of this, like, I don't know, this identification with these egos and these shows, and I want to hear everything I think, and I have my tribe, and just staking our lives on information that we just, like I said, at the end of the day, maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but like, I don't know, just the whole like tribalism around it. I think it's
this is a funny comment. Wolvenar says, do you two realize you're making a great argument against listening to your channels? You're right. Yes. And you know what? You don't have to.
No, and I tell people all the time, please do not, at the end of the day, don't hero worship me. I don't want anyone to think I'm like a hero. I don't want to be, what do they call it? An influencer. I don't want to be an influencer. I call myself an outfluencer. I don't want any of that. I just want you to see me as like Allison, a person who's on a journey trying to learn new things and doing the best, most honest conversations that you can. I get things wrong sometimes. I get things right sometimes. I'm just a human being. The last thing I want to set myself up as is like some high expert on all of these topics, because you know what? You live by that sword, you die by that sword. And if you go on your channel and you rage against all these people for being idiots, I can't believe they said this, they're so stupid, constantly talking, you know, about like how you're the expert and all these other people are just idiots, eventually you'll get something wrong. And guess what? You've created an entire audience based on that. And they're going to, you know, you're going to fall by your own words, you know? So like, yeah, that's exactly right. Like, please, if you watch my stuff, I hope you ask questions. I hope you're skeptical of me. I hope you tell me about my blind spots. I hope you don't think I'll be offended. I will not be offended if you tell me that I suck. I tell people that all the time. So yeah, that's a great point.
Yep. Yep. I agree. I agree. I often say that an EMP would be an answer to my prayers, because then I wouldn't be doing any of this, and we would just be back. I'd just be back in the garden and doing what I want to do best. And I wish there are many times I wish we could go back, and I wish that the internet wasn't even a thing. And I feel like it might have been the moment we're all going to live to regret, because we have built something here that I agree with you is not real. And not that we're not interacting on it, but it is not real. You can't build a foundation on it. You can't build anything solid on it,
Yeah.
because it's here 1 minute and gone the next. And so I always tell people, Allison, go outside and touch grass. Please go outside
Right.
this weekend. Please go to mass and sit there for an hour without your phone, just meditating on, you know, your spirit, because there's something you're losing. We are losing in this box, right? We're losing it. Like, you and I are not in the same room right now. It feels like we are, but you know what we're missing? We're missing that human connection that we would have if we were in the same room. The body language, the pheromones, like the smell, the sight, everything we're missing. And this cannot replace, this little square window cannot replace being in an actual room with another human being. Which is what I got in trouble for saying about dating. I said, you can't date on these apps. These hookup apps are not how you meet someone. And I mean, you could. It's not unrealistic that you could meet someone. You can. But will you find your true love? Probably not. You probably need to be in person. How did you meet your husband?
On a story. And it's funny you say that, because I went on one, like, years ago. I tried out one of the like old school ones, like Match or something like that. And I went on one date and I realized I am never going to meet like the guy doing this. So I canceled my subscription and I was done with it. I actually, when I moved to Seattle from Florida for the job I had, my last TV job, and then they actually sent me back to Florida for a story. And it was for these veterans who do anti-poaching work in South Africa. And they were doing like a training session before they were deploying. And one of the guys that was training them became my husband. And so we wanted to go to South Africa a couple of times, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it just totally, it confirmed for me that, like, yeah, you know, the other thing too, I wonder about these dating apps is that it's given this idea that you could just go out and shop for a spouse. That it's just another consumerism of personhood. And so it's like, oh, I don't really like you anymore. You're kind of annoying me. So I'll just go back on my app and find a new one. You know, it's just like you're done with your jeans. You just throw them out. And I do think that back in the day, there probably was a certain amount of, I'll stay with you and work things out with you because you may be all that I've got, you know, I mean,
Right.
it may be hard to find someone else. So I think it's made people, it's just like, it's given people, I think, this false sense of, I mean, it's not necessarily false. It's true. You can go back on and get another one, but what are the value of those relationships where you're just dumping people every time you don't like something about them? You don't work through what the beauty of marriage and a long-term relationship is. Megan, can you hang on 1 second while I get my baby? He just woke up. I'll bring him in.
Course.
You can say hi. Okay, I'll be right back.
Of course he can. Yeah, I've got a funny video to show Allison if she has time, because there's another report of trying to find love at Home Depot. You guys are going to crack up. Thanks to the Locals chat, by the way. It was you who brought me this. And if you're not on Locals, you should be following me at meganfox.locals.com, because we have a really fun little group over there, and we're doing some real things. We're doing things like cooking and cleaning, and when the garden season comes, we're going to be doing gardening, and I'm about to get some baby chicks, so we're going to be raising some baby chicks together on my Locals channel. So it's a lot of fun, and we do movie nights where we watch fun things and we have a fun time together. meganfox.locals.com. Also, if you go there, you can follow me for free and turn your notifications on, so you always know when I'm going live. If you want to sub and pay for the subscription, use promo code SQUATS. for 2 months for free if you sign up for a year. Oh,
Let's put the passy in and see.
So cute. How old is he?
Oh, Jack, how old are you? 5 months. He's 5 months.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh, I'm so far beyond this stage. I miss holding that baby. I gotta tell you, I do.
See, that's one of the things that's the problem with being virtual. I was gonna say when you were talking about like we're not in the same room, there's not the same. I'm like, yeah, and you can't babysit for me, you know.
That's right. No.
So, oh,
No,
and now my 2-year-old's here. You want to say hi?
Aw.
Okay. I remember when I told you I could go about an hour before.
Yeah,
things
no,
implode.
you can go. If you need to go, you can go. I totally get it. I've kept you
Well,
over when I said I would anyway.
I think Lily's here gonna color on her, you know, those magnet things that you can like.
Uh-huh.
And then yeah, she's working on it. I probably have a few more minutes. Is there anything else you want to
Yeah,
talk about?
I have this hilarious thing that okay, so I got in trouble for saying that thing about you should just go out into the world and find someone out there, like at the bookstore, I said, or maybe the auto parts shop. And I got a lot of crap for saying that. They were like, that's ridiculous. You can't meet people that way. Well,
That's
it
not
turns
true.
out that there's a TikTok trend that just popped up right after I said that about how women are going to Home Depot trying to find husbands at the Home Depot, which I think is not a bad idea.
Uh-huh.
This is going to make you cringe so hard, though, because they sent on Valentine's Day this little reporter, this little blonde reporter who's doing it all wrong, to go and try and find love at the Home Depot. So I wanted to play this clip for you in the audience and get your reaction to it, because this is like the worst of TV journalism, right? It's well, maybe not the worst, but it's the cringiest. Okay.
Today's dating scene is just brutal. Don't we all know that? But maybe a new dating trend can help inspire someone to get back out there. Let's check in with Channel 3's Marcy Jones to see how her quest for love is going. So far, Marcy, there's an X on the board. There's no green check mark. Woo! It's tough doing.
I'm telling you, Scott, I've been here for 10 minutes. I'm about to drink this and just call it the end. Honestly, this is not my day, okay? That's not my day. I'm going to go over here to my only friend in the store. This is Derek. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
You've been the friendliest person to me in here. That's why I'm coming to you right now.
Thank you,
You've got a smile. You're very warm. Are you single? Is it complicated? Do you have multiple people that we're entertaining tomorrow on Valentine's Day?
No, just my kids.
Oh, I love that. I was going to say, if I had a nickel for every time I found somebody as handsome as you, I'd only have 5 cents.
Oh.
Because you're the cutest.
Oh.
All right, so I'm here to try to find love. Have you heard of this TikTok trend where you go around the aisles and like try to pick up guys?
I've just heard about it last week, so
okay.
I didn't know,
It's not working out too well. Any advice?
Keep looking.
That's what everyone keeps saying.
Keep looking.
Where is he?
They'll be here.
Okay, right. I'm trusting you. I put my faith in you. All right, ladies, I'm coming over. Can't stop me. It's live. Ooh, yes. Okay, Sammy, you're gonna have to get up here. All right, ladies. All right, we worked at Home Depot for how long?
20 years.
Oh, girl. What did you start when you were 2? How long have you been here?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, have we found any connections here? Have you seen people like finding love over the power drills?
No.
What? Oh my! What
No.
are you doing here? Where should I find a man?
Definitely not
Not
Home Depot.
Not at Home Depot. What? The TikTok trend has 3.6 billion views of finding men in Home Depot. But we're saying that they're wrong.
Which app do they find them in?
That's what I want to know. Not here. Girls, anybody who is over 6 feet tall and is relatively good looking, flag me down, okay?
Oh, that's her first mistake.
Queens.
That's
My
your
God.
first mistake. Over 6 feet tall. What do you think? Who do you think you are, lady? No. You don't get to demand over 6 feet tall. That's
My husband is 5'6", so.
see? Okay, I keep telling women, if you have standards like this, that you must have someone of a certain height, that means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. So you're cutting yourself off to an entire population of men who are worthwhile just because you have this 6 foot thing in your head.
Right.
That's why she can't find a man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know this person personally, so I don't want to psychoanalyze her, but I do know a lot of TV people like her, like that would, that would have this kind of, I don't know, maybe she's just putting on a show and she's doing a morning live.
She could absolutely just be putting on a show, obviously. But I mean, this mentality is what I mean. Is like if you're putting that kind of thing out there, like, well, if you see anybody who's over 6 feet tall, that's your first mistake. Stop it.
Yeah, for sure.
Stop.
Yeah. Well, yeah, women do the same thing that guys do when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I don't know. This is hilarious though that they sent her out. I mean,
this poor woman. I feel terrible.
I know.
For her.
I'm actually not surprised by it. I could totally see the TV stations I work for if somebody was like willing to do this, because she probably volunteered. Oh, hey, look, what if I go to, you got to come to these morning meetings with an idea. It's like, what if I go to Home Depot? And of course, this is set up in advance, right? Because to get into Home Depot and do these live shots, you got to get corporate approval. And,
of course,
they probably loved it. And, send the single lady from the newsroom. But it's kind of a big joke in newsrooms that a lot of people are single. I mean, they just hang out with each other. And that's part of the problem with why the news is so terrible. Because, I mean, just think about if you just had a bunch of single people with no life outside of the newsroom, what the news would look like. It probably would look a lot like what it does, and that unfortunately there's not a great work-life balance. And it's a lot of people that, are going to Home Depot trying to find a man or a woman, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so my daughter is pretending she's a dog and running around. She thinks she's a dog because we live out in the middle of nowhere, and this is the first.
All children. All children think this. They all go through the dog phase. Oh yeah, no, my daughters did. Both of them did. They wanted to eat their cereal out of a bowl on the floor.
She licks bowls and chases balls around the yard, and
they all do that. She'll grow out of it. Don't worry, it's not a problem.
That's awesome.
She'll absolutely grow out of it. Thanks for the Rumble rant, Raceland. There's 2 of them. Raceland says, no black pills. It's always darkest before the dawn. Tide is turning and nothing today is half as bad as FDR or LBJ. I don't know about that. Were they coming after the kids for the what stuff back then? I don't think so. He also said brother loved his old school Mexican dentist and lots of prescription pharmaceuticals cheaper than the pharmacy. That's what we hear. Sounds promising to me. And also Farron Balance sent a super chat. Thank you, Farron. Says support for female journalists. Here's to my 2 favorite female journalists. Love you both. Love you too, Farron. And Julio, thanks for the super chat, says our eggs are dead. No, they're not. Stop it. Your eggs are not dead.
I'm 42 this year.
I had my last baby at 39, and I swear I could still get pregnant. I'm sure and I'm 46.
Our naturopath, his wife just had their 8th kid at 45.
Yeah, I had a neighbor who was having her 6th kid at 44. So there's no.
Wow.
It's not true. Your eggs start to decline around the age of 27, but they are not dead for a very long time. Anybody who says that doesn't know biology, and no.
And if you take care of yourself, you eat well and you're a pretty healthy person, I don't know. They throw me in a high risk category when I get pregnant, and I look at it and I'm like, I eat better probably than the vast majority of the 25-year-olds that come into this office. I think I'm probably healthier than most of them, So yeah, no, your eggs are not dead. Right, Jack? No.
That's not what Don Lemon says. I know. Don Lemon with his past her prime comment really bothered me.
Yeah.
Why now? Look, have you run into that? Have you run into that sort of thing in the news business? It is true. It is demonstrably true that women's value is based on her sexual appeal in the news business, because you will never see an older Fox News anchor that's a female. You will see, however, older men all over media and all over news. Does that? What is your experience with that? Because it drives me nuts.
We do see some older women, but usually they're they've got their skin has been stretched behind their ears,
or you have to be Barbara Walters.
Yeah, dye their hair. Yeah, the average person
be a legend.
Is you're right. Yeah, I have a lot of friends who got to 40 and then they kind of lost their local anchor position as women. So
Leslie Stahl, if you're not Leslie Stahl, Oprah Winfrey, or Barbara Walters, you don't have a career after 40.
Or what's her face on The View? That's so annoying.
Oh, which one? Joy Behar? They're all
Joy.
They're all
annoying. Joy. Yeah. I I think in the like local news business, you can make it work as a reporter. It's usually the anchors. They tend to shuffle out as they get older. Like I knew a significant amount of older women. I don't want to say older because the job's hard. So like you get to, who wants to be a local news reporter at like 65 as a woman? I mean, I wouldn't want to do that. It was an exhausting job. But they would get away with it as a reporter. I did know women who were like, had been in the business 45 years or more. And I did have some local news anchor friends who had been, but for the most part, it was men who made it. And yeah, there is, I mean, listen, in the contracts, it's written that they own your image. They own the hairstyle you have, and they can tell you to do your makeup a certain way and wear certain clothes. And it's not a secret. You sign a contract that says like they own your image. It's part. In fact, final closing story before I probably should go. When I was in Tampa, I got called in by my boss because I got in trouble for not blow drying my hair. They were mad that I was coming to work with my hair wet, and I would blow dry my hair after the morning meeting. So I'd like race to work. I'd like shower at home because I'd like do all this stuff in the morning. I go for a run and everything. And then I had longer hair. And so come in with my hair wet. And then as soon as the morning meeting was over, I'd go to the green room and I'd blow dry my hair. No harm, no foul. Well, they got annoyed that I wasn't coming in camera ready. So I got called into the office and they said, you have to come to work camera ready. And I said, oh, okay, so what you're saying is that my hair and makeup and everything, that's part of my job. And they said, yes, exactly. And I said, like, it's so much a part of my job that it's in the contract that you can tell me what to do with it. And they said, yeah, right. And I said, like my camera, it's like my camera or the microphone, the tripod, all this stuff. It's a piece of equipment. That's why
shouldn't they pay for it?
Exactly. That's where I hosed them because they said, yes, every single time. And I go, so then when I'm touching my hair, I am on the clock and you pay me to do my hair. That's how this works. I mean,
Yep.
They looked at me like they just like,
you're absolutely right though.
It's true though, right?
Did they have to do it? Did they have to pay you for it?
I never heard from them about it again. I came
Good.
in, I still, you know what's funny? The other day I did a stream with my hair kind of wet and I was like, this is for you, Michelle, my old boss who told me I was going to have to finally start drying my hair. And you know what? Here I am running my own business with wet hair.
Wet hair.
So take that.
So take that is right. Seriously, I feel like the double standard is not okay. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And I've said since I wrote that article and basically came clean about some of the stuff I've seen that I haven't really talked about, is that I should do a better job getting more women on this program who are in this business and who are content creators. Because I realize I'm complaining about this, but how often do I invite other women onto this program? Not as often as I should. So thanks so much for coming on today, Allison, because and I hope you'll come on some more because I'd love to talk to you about other things that you do and and your stories that you cover for sure. And I admire you.
I at Home Depot, so we got to go get to know each other.
Yes. All right. Well,
you take care. He's very handsy.
Do you want to tell where should everybody find you, and what are you working on next that you want people to know about? And go ahead and do a plug for the wine too.
Allison Wine promo. If you want to support my work, go get some awesome Malbecs. If you're a wine drinker already, you get 50% off some awesome high altitude, like extreme altitude wines, and 50% off shipping. AllisonWinePromo.com. Like you, I'm on Locals, so AllisonMorrow.locals.com is a great place to go and sign up. I do a lot of interviews. I basically focus on censorship. So if you're interested in hearing from some of the most censored people on the internet, that's where I go. I go to those corners of the world, which doesn't pay well, as it turns out, on YouTube because I don't like that. That's the whole point. But I use the audience as an editorial board, and so people put in questions ahead of time for interviews. And so I think we have some interesting conversations and a lot of interesting questions. But I think that's probably the best place to go. I mean, if you want to know about the producer here, or be on my editorial board, you're interested in censorship and mainstream media, that kind of thing, then go to AlisonMorrow.locals.com. But I'm on all the other platforms. I'm on YouTube and Rumble and Rockfin and where else are all of us? I can't remember. Utreon, that's one of them. Oh, Odyssey. I'm all over the place, so you'll find me somewhere. And I appreciate it, Megan. Thanks for having me, and good luck with your slumber party tonight.
Thank you, and have a wonderful night with the kids. And I hope your Delta flight goes okay.
Oh yeah, thank you for dealing with that. I hope so too.
All right, good night, honey.
See ya. Bye.
I love it. I love Allison. She's fun, and we're gonna watch the rest of this Home Depot video because it gets really cringe. It gets really cringe. It's so funny. This poor girl gets turned down so many times, but I could tell you why she's striking out. For one, she's on television. She's got a camera guy following her around, so nobody really wants to engage. And for two, she's like super way too high energy. But I know she's doing it for the camera. It's not her fault. But this next guy that she finds is like a total catch. And if she really were single, she should have asked him out right then.
Queens. Okay, let's try. Yeah, we're on the move. We're on the move. We're going to do it. We're going to find a man. Now, he's obviously really cute and Jack, but you're the manager, so you're off limits, correct? And you're not, are you single?
I am single.
Oh, you're single.
He's such a
so everyone out there. Okay, what's your name?
Trevor.
Trevor. Okay, so what are you looking for in a significant other?
Somebody who cares about their health,
Okay.
same values as me.
Right.
Good smile.
Good. Oh, I love that. I would bring you to the movie theater, but I would get in trouble for bringing my own snack. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, pal.
It was so bad. That was the worst. That was the worst line ever. I don't know if she went in there thinking of those. Like, did she come? But that guy was a catch, and he was over 6 feet tall too, or at least taller than her, which is all that really matters, right? If that even matters at all. You don't really need a guy who's taller than you, do you? Do you? Like, do you really need that, or do you need someone who will love you and put up with your crap? I know it's so cringe, you guys. It's so cringe. It gets worse. Can you believe that it gets worse? But this is what they make you do when you're working at a news station. Thank God I don't do this for a living.
All right, let's go over here. Is this a father-son too?
These
Hi,
two
guys.
really
Good
don't want
morning.
to talk to her.
Are we a little hungover from the Super Bowl? Let's be honest.
I never watched it.
What? Oh, you haven't? Oh, where are you from?
Ireland.
Ireland. Okay, we're here looking for love right now. Is this a good spot to find love?
I don't know, maybe.
Right?
Yeah, maybe.
Are you in love currently?
No, not currently.
What? Am I not doing it for you?
No.
He's like 15.
Are you guys father and son?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. What are you guys doing today?
Am I not doing it for you? He goes, no, not really. You know, you got to give her props for continuing to try.
Just getting some keys cut.
Okay.
That's it.
If I need love advice, what would your best advice be?
Oh, I don't know. I can't.
Stop wasting time with you guys?
There you go.
Stop.
All right, Thank you. Thanks so much. Let's see. Hi. Do you have any advice about love for me?
I can't make comments without my
No comments. Okay. What about you? Hi. Good morning. How are you?
Rushing.
Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Do you have any fun plans?
Not really, no.
What? Come on. Did your significant other tell you that they don't want anything? Because they're lying.
We don't do stuff like that.
Oh, you don't do stuff like that? Did she ask for this? Huh?
No, this is all work stuff.
Okay, all right. I'll let you off the hook. Guys, I'm really striking out. Scott, do you have any advice for me?
No, but you've got the
Do I
big,
need a Cosmo?
you got the big X right there, Marcy. Thank you so much for playing this
How
game.
many X's do I have?
Thank you so much for playing and losing. It's so bad. But now, because all of this attention is being put on all of this attention is being put on Home Depot, that now it will no longer be a place that you can meet anyone because there's too many people going to Home Depot looking for a husband. Don't be so obvious, ladies. And by the way, that manager at that place, he was a catch. That guy was a catch. Somebody needs to circle back and go find him and ask him out. And that's the other thing, ladies. Don't be afraid to ask men out if you find one that's attractive, because most of them, if they're single, they'll say yes. Julie says, now picture this as a male reporter doing this. Oh, actually, I still think it would be funny. I really do. I think it would be hilarious. They should try it. They should try it. Maybe they should have sent a male reporter looking for single women who were looking for husbands at the Home Depot. Oh man. All right, let me look. Hold on. Rumble, there's a Rumble rant. Raceland 9000 says, if you got a local Mexican hookup, you can get cheap antibiotics. Also, in the past, FDR ran internment camps and we did lobotomies and eugenics. Well, that's true. But if you're paying attention to transgender medicine, there's no difference. It's the same thing as a lobotomy, except they're destroying the sexual function of minors. And if you don't think that's as bad or worse, or at least as bad as lobotomies, I got news for you, because it is. It is. All right, listen, give that reporter a little slack because she had the assignment to do, and she's trying to play it up for the camera. She's trying really hard, and like it's not working out. She's trying to keep the energy up. Lisa says, "I still think the AutoZone is better." Maybe. Oh man. Okay. What else is there? What else is there to do today? Well, on Wednesdays, we normally take calls, which we are going to get to in just a few moments. But before we do that, I do want to tell you about Bastion bolt action pens. Because when you're writing your Valentines, right, you're writing them down, you're going to need a good pen to do that with. And this box was so cool, by the way. It came with this, it's just such a cool box. It's like a jewelry box, and I love it. You can't see my pen though, because it's turquoise. And it doesn't work with the green screen. Note to self, don't get another green one. But it's a really cool pen, and it's nice and heavy. And if you guys like to journal, if you like to do any of that kind of stuff like I do, because I still like paper and pen. I still use a journal. I use a calendar. I take notes, and it's got this really cool clicky bolt action. Oh, there, if I hold it down here, it works for some reason. It's got this really cool bolt action flippy thing. It's good for those of us with ADD who need something to fidget with, and it makes a satisfying sound. Listen. I love it. So if you go over to, where is it? BastionBoltActionPen.com, promo code MEG20. You'll get a 20% off discount on any pens, on any order, and they have free shipping in the United States. So check it out, BoltActionPen.com, promo code MEG20 for 20% off. All right. I'm looking at your comments. You guys are killing me. How you guys doing over on the Locals chat? If you're not on Locals, you need to go to meganfox.locals.com, and you can check out all the fun stuff we're doing over there. We're watching movies together at sometimes late at night, sometimes in the afternoon. Doesn't matter. We did South Park last night. Hilarious. It was so funny, you guys. We're also I've started watching The Bachelor, just for some shits and giggles because it's funny. And we've been having a blast doing that. Episode 2 probably coming up soon, maybe tonight, since the girls are busy with their sleepover. I mean, what am I going to do? I got nothing to do except, stay out of their way. So maybe we'll do episode 2 tonight on Locals. And if you're not on Locals, you need to subscribe. Use promo code SQUATS for 2 months free on me. And by the way, speaking of squats, we haven't done our squats yet. Oh, no. We have to. We've been sitting here for an hour and 26 minutes. It's time to get up. You have 1 minute and 26 seconds to do your squats, and I'll be right back.
You impose fatness on you. You did it by going, oh, I want the butter on the popcorn. Oh, I want the butter on the ice cream. Oh, I want the butter on the sandwich. Oh, I want the butter on the salad. Stop eating butter. Can you just get up, walk 1 mile?
To squat!
Walk farther. And if you can't walk, crawl, roll, get dragged by a goddamn forklift. Whatever is wrong with you, just move. Ever. Get off the chair. Get off the couch. No one is coming to service you while you sink into that furniture, while you become one with the pleather your poor ass got on that Walmart couch. Can you try not floating into sadness? Stop eating, stop drinking, start walking, start doing anything that you haven't been doing, you fat piece of shit.
Okay. I'm back. Did you do it? Did you do your squats? How's it going? No, you took your walk. No squats for you. Well, how about wall sits? You could have done wall sits. Oh my goodness. W Daisy, what do you mean your feelings are hurt? Why are your feelings hurt? I can see you. What's the problem? Send me an email. What am I hearing? Is it raining? Oh yeah, it's raining. I have one of those metal roofs, and so when it rains, it is very loud. Okay. I'm sorry to hear you're feeling a bit sick today, Welsh Republic. Good to see you in the chat. All right, we're gonna take phone calls. Let me pull it up. And the same rules apply for the phone that apply for the chat tonight, which is no drama. If you want to talk about something that is drama related, YouTube drama related, I'm not into it. So I won't take those calls. I'll just hang up. But if you want to talk about anything else, you can call me at 617-8585-FOX. 617-8585-FOX. I'm taking your calls right now. So let me get the number up on the screen. And you can call in. And let's see if I can share that. 617-8585-FOX, taking your calls. All right, it's ready to go. All right, otherwise, save the drama for your mama. That's right, because I will never, ever, ever become a channel that does drama, YouTube drama channels. I don't care. I'm working on news stories. I don't care. So whatever drama is happening on YouTube, I'm not only not aware of it, but I also don't care at all. And so I won't be talking about that. Call in now, 617-8585-FOX, and I will take your call. All right, what else is in the news? What I like to do is go over to pjmedia.com and show you what is going on over there, because there's always some good stuff going on over there. Add to stream. All right, let's get to the front page, shall we? Because you guys got to see this. Have you seen this woman? What the hell is going on? This is a great headline by Stephen Green. What the hell is going on with that Trump grand jury foreman? Have you all seen this? I don't even know why this woman, I don't even know what this grand jury is about, because I haven't been paying attention, but listen to this.
Personally want to hear from the former president. I wanted to hear from the former president, but honestly, I kind of wanted to subpoena the former president because I got to swear everybody in. And so I thought it'd be really cool to get 60 seconds with President Trump of me looking at him and being like, do you solemnly swear? And me getting to swear him in. I kind of just thought that would be an awesome moment.
Aww. I kind of feel bad for her in a little bit, in a way, because, like, is this just someone who's like super excited? Like, is she just super excited about meeting him? And is this? I don't even know what to think about this. That's why I liked the headline, because I don't know what to think about it. Like, is this a super fan? Is that what I'm seeing here? Is a super fan of the president, or what? I kind of love this woman. I kind of feel like she's kind of endearing.
There are indictments recommended, of course.
It's her facial expressions, you guys. Every time, I kind of love her, because no matter where you start, no matter where you stop, you're going to find like an amazing screenshot of her face, because she's so animated. Oh no, don't tank out on me now. Don't tank out on me now. Call in 617-8585-FOX while we're waiting for this stupid video to load. Here, maybe I can make it smaller and it'll load. Maybe I should close some windows, huh? Yeah, I should close some windows. I have too many windows open. Dang it. Smash. We will not play Smash or Pass with her. No chat. No. Bad chat. Bad chat. All right, hold on. I don't know why this isn't loading. Hold on. I'm plugged directly into the router, by the way, so it should be loading. Let's try again.
When it comes to, there are indictments recommended, of course. Is it more than 12 people? Is it more than 20 people?
I think if you look at the page numbers of the report, there's about 6 pages in the middle that got cut out. Allow for spacing. It's not a short list.
Not a short list. more? I mean, when it comes to 75 witnesses, like, it's not, I assume, of course, it's not 75 people.
Am I the only person that loves her? I think they should give her own television show immediately. I would rather watch her than the woman on the left any day. I haven't even looked at that woman who's interviewing her. I can't take my eyes off this other one.
Would you characterize it as...
Look at the one eyebrow up.
I can't say I counted.
Okay. More than a dozen, though, I think I'd heard you say in another interview.
I believe so. That's probably a good assumption.
The name that everyone wants to know about is former President Trump.
Of course.
Did you recommend charges against Donald Trump?
She's got very sparkly eyes. I'll give her that.
I really don't want to share something that the judge made a conscious decision not to share. I will tell you that it was a process where we heard his name a lot. We definitely heard a lot about former President Trump.
I don't even know what this grand jury indictment is about, but I'm sure of one thing. It's not going to pan out the way the left thinks it is. There's going to be nothing found.
And we definitely discussed him a lot in the room.
And is she in love with him? I can't tell. I don't think she hates him, though.
And I will say that when this list comes out, there are no major plot twists waiting for you.
No major plot twists. Interesting. Does anybody know what this indictment is even about? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't know. I think that I'm the only one who likes her. Am I? I think personally they should give her a television show immediately. She's got charisma for days. Oh, that's terrible. What? Member of a news crew shot and killed in Florida. Farron, you're bringing me down. I don't want to talk about people getting shot in Florida. Absolutely not. I should get her on the show. Sky, I agree with Sky. I don't know. I think she comes across as being enthusiastic about her role. I think it could be any ex-president and she'd still be excited. Maybe. She looks... I disagree. All right, hold on. We're getting a call.
Call from
Matthew Ragsdale.
To accept, press 1.
Hey, Matthew. Welcome to the program. How are you?
Hey, long-time listener, first-time caller.
What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Figured out while I'm getting food, I can call in and break the ice.
Sure you can.
Maybe give you all a few of those links till the super chatting about.
So what's on your mind?
Oh, just everybody's all like, it's so dark and gloomy right now, and which is definitely true. Don't get me wrong on that. But historically speaking, all these awfuls and evils today are just lighter shadings of even more awful and evil things of the past. Just history repeating itself. And they're not doing a very good job of it, and they're already losing everywhere you look.
You think so?
Oh yeah, it's you look at all the media companies, they're just collapsing. Disney's about to go bankrupt because they're pushing all this stuff. CNN's about to go bankrupt because they're pushing all this stuff. Everywhere you look, nobody's buying it. It threw everything they had to get us to where we are now, and it's all falling apart on them. And they didn't get as far as they really would have liked to get.
Well, I'm glad you see it that way. I'm not sure that I see it that way. I feel like it's pretty dark. But
it's definitely dark.
But then again, like, this is the time I live in, so I never lived in any of those other times, and so maybe it was much darker.
Certainly.
Well, I appreciate your call. Thanks for calling in, Matt.
Certainly.
All right, take care.
Some other people that call in that.
Yes, take care. All right, guys, 617-8585 Fox. Call now. Sorry, if you were calling while Matt was on the phone, I can only answer one call at a time. So if you were calling in and I didn't answer it, that's because I can only answer one at a time. But you can call in now because it's now open. 617-8585 Fox. You can call in and we can talk about whatever you want, as long as it's not YouTube drama related. That's the one rule. That's the one rule about call-ins. But that was a good one. I'm glad there are people out there who are putting a perspective on there and saying that, hey, maybe it's not as dark as you think it is. All right, here comes another one. Let's see, who's this?
Call from
Lisa Ballerini.
Hey, Lisa, what's up?
Hey, Megan.
How you doing?
All right. I'm good. I'm not going to come at you.
Okay.
Except, she's not cute. You're reading her all wrong. That's my opinion.
She's got sparkly eyes, though. I think she's
Well, I
hilarious.
think she's got the charm. She's got a charm, and it's an innocent, and it's childlike, and it reminds me of other things that I've seen before. When you're so like, look at me, I'm so cute. Kind of, I don't know. It's this vibe I get of. It's so childlike. So I'm a grand jury member, for God's sake.
I know. Well, she's also very
be more adult.
She's also very young, though. That's obviously a very young girl. And I have people say that about me sometimes, that I'm way too animated. It's just the way, but it's just the way I am. It's just the way I talk. And I guess there's something about her that maybe reminds me of me, like I think that she's probably had a lot of crap. I think people probably made fun of her a lot. And I think that right now she's getting dragged. And I don't want to drag her because I don't see what's wrong with anything she really just said or did. I think she's kind of cute. And I think she should be in entertainment because, man, she can really, in theater, they call it playing to the back of the room. She's somebody who would be great on a stage because the people, even in the last row, can see those facial expressions,
I agree. The eyes. Yeah. Yep. I agree.
I don't think I see anything malicious in her. I hope we can be a little bit forgiving because she doesn't seem malicious to me. She just seems excited and young and animated. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
That I agree with.
Yeah. So what are you doing? What's up with you? What's going on in your life? What's fun and exciting coming up? Anything?
Oh God, this is going to be therapy if I get into it, Right now, I'm cleaning the shop my husband works for. That's what I do Wednesday night.
Well, that's a nice gift. That's a nice gift.
Well, it is. It was a gift to me. Trying to get out of the house, a mom. Before now, I refuse to leave him in anyone's care. I have to get over it. I have to figure out how to find my community and let my in-laws take him. Like I'm being honest. So I gotta get over some things so I can be free myself and help him and guide him the right way. And I don't want to let my issues with my fears of this world right now affect him. So I'm working on that. And,
Lisa, I battle that.
I don't want it to be therapy.
I battle that every single day. I battle it every day. So I know how you feel. I know exactly how you feel. And I can't give you any advice on how to get past it, but I can tell that you're working to try to let go a little. And it's the hardest thing we can do as parents is to give our kids a little of that freedom that we're scared about because there's so much craziness out there. I can't tell you how to do it because I don't even know how I do it myself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't know how to, I don't know how to take the advice. I really don't. I shut everyone out. You don't know.
Yeah.
Anybody, I don't even open up about it. I put up so many walls and, my husband's really the only one who works with me on it. And I started out saying this was a gift for me, actually. Coming out and working is he's with dad and that's, I don't know. Dad needs some freedom too. We need a date. You need to go on a date.
You do need to go out on a date night. You do. You know what I would suggest doing? I would suggest starting out with a family member. Do you have family close by?
Oh, yeah. His family has 300-acre beef ranch, you know, a couple miles down the road. His parents are awesome. They love my son to no end. They'll do anything for him. They do everything. And so does my husband. Like, they're great people. I think that I got wrapped up in my awakening that happened after, you know, all of the pandemic, and you know, I got wrapped up in the fear of these really well-intentioned people and people that I was actually reading as being good people, and that they sometimes don't know the harm that they are doing to kids by being so open and accepting and tolerant. I started, you know, looking at my empathetic, you know, liberal loved ones in this horrible way of like, you don't know the damage you might be doing, and it sucks. It sucks so bad. Sucks. They're amazing people.
I hear you.
My mother-in-law will open up, like, she'll talk to me about this stuff. She's amazing. I gotta let go and let my boundaries, you know, my walls down.
You know what?
It's in my core.
Maybe this will help you, but I spent every weekend at my grandmother's house. My parents would drop us off and leave us there from Friday to Sunday. And then we would all have dinner on Sunday with my grandma. And honestly, Lisa, it was the best time of my life. My weekends with my grandmother gave me a relationship with her that I would never have had otherwise. You know, just a couple hours here and there just doesn't do it. But going grocery shopping with grandma and hanging out and watching Johnny Carson late into the night, doing stuff my parents wouldn't let me do, eating stuff my parents wouldn't let me eat. It really bonded us together. And you want him to have that. You want him to have that grandma or grandpa that he can go to if he can't go to you, but he feels safe with grandma and grandpa, you know, because kids need that. And you're so lucky that you have that. My children haven't lived close to my parents for many years now. And it's something I regret every day. I wish we could be close together. And it's just, when you are that close together, those are going to be wonderful memories for him. And he's getting to the age now where you don't have to be so worried. He's okay. He's 4, you know?
Yeah. He's tough too. Too tough.
So spend some time, plan a date night, drop him off at grandma's, just be out for a couple hours and see how it goes. You're going to feel good.
All right, I'm doing it.
Do it.
And
then let me know. Let me know.
I will.
Okay.
I will. Thanks, Megan.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you again.
I'll talk to you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
That is tough, you guys. Being a mom, being worried. I know. I live in anxiety. I know how it is. I fight the anxiety every single day. But God, if you're near grandparents and they're good ones, make sure your kids have all the time in the world they could possibly have with grandma and grandpa, because, man, missing out on that would just be incomprehensible. I can't even imagine my life without weekends at grandma's house. I can't even imagine what it would be like. I just love it. I love that you guys call me with this stuff. You know, you can call me about anything. You can call me and we can talk about whatever you want. 617-8585 Fox. I will take a couple more calls if you're out there and you want to talk about something. I'm just looking at your chats at the moment. Oh, Julio, thanks for the super chat. She's Gypsy Rose on a grand jury. I love this comment. Texas Sunshine says, the first time I saw Megan was on a Rakeda live stream. She held her own with 4+ egotistical men. I applaud her and I'm glad I found her. Well, you know, it can be a man's world, but I think women deserve to be in it too. I'm going to fight for the right to be there every time. And I think that we should spend more time, like Allison was saying, we should spend more time looking for the good in people and not worried about all the drama. Daisy, Megan Fox, the marriage guru. Well, I don't know about that. But I do know that the date nights are really important, are really good. It's always good to get your partner across the table from you and look each other in the eyeballs, because when you've got kids and you're busy and you're running around, you have to ask yourself, when was the last time I looked my partner in the eyeballs? And actually thought about it to the point where I'm analyzing what color are his eyes exactly. I mean, really, these are things that we just don't do all the time. And so sitting across a table, just even if you're just going to go sit down and at the local diner and have a burger, just look at him, look at her, and figure it out. Like figure it out again. Remember why you live with this person and why you like them. Every time I see Mr. Fox's baby blues, it gets me. And I'm like, oh yeah, there he is. There he is. There's the guy. There's the guy I love. And I miss. I miss him. He's traveling, so sucks when he's gone. It's hard around here when he's not here. There's wood carrying to do. Luckily, my oldest daughter, Spawn, is very, very, very strong. She can do it. Oh, here comes a call.
Call from Charlotte.
Hey, Charlotte. Welcome to the program. How are you?
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to call. My birthday's coming up on Sunday.
Happy birthday.
I've been watching you for a while. I saw you on Ricada Law. I love that you're a journalist, and I try to tune in for True Crime Tuesdays. But I'm a single mom. I have a 2-year-old going on 3, kind of isolated all by myself, living on my own, trying to stand on my own, but it gets hard. I'm away from family. So the last caller kind of, my heart goes out to her. And, but I just wanted to call. I thought this was a cool way this is like my birthday treat to myself, is getting to call you and just say, hey, what's up? I appreciate what you do. And you're just giving someone like me another wonderful woman to look up to. So thank you for everything you do. And thank you for your content.
The chat is saying happy birthday, and I'm saying happy birthday too. And the age of 2 to 3, what a beautiful age. What a great age. I love 2-year-olds. When people say terrible 2s, they're just wrong. The 2s are actually quite wonderful, like really, really wonderful. They're just starting to talk, and they're still chubby babies, and it's a good time. And I'm sorry to hear that you're kind of isolated out there. I actually have a couple ideas for you. Do you have have you ever heard of a group called MOPS, MOPS, Mothers of Preschoolers?
No.
Okay. I want you to get on Google tonight, and I want you to look up MOPS. You might find, if you find a local group in your area, I encourage you to go and join them. They're going to be at a church somewhere nearby, but they're Mothers of Preschoolers, and it's basically a ministry / moms group where they offer childcare for a couple hours once a month, and you go and you everybody brings breakfast, and all the moms eat together, and you might do a craft, or you might hear a speaker, or you might talk about a topic, but you get a couple of hours with some other women who are going through the same thing that you're going through right now at this very moment in time. And I met some of the best friends I've ever made in MOPS. So I just would encourage you to reach out and to start going and maybe finding a MOPS group. Or if there isn't a MOPS group, you can maybe start one. You can go on MOPS, I think it's mops.com, and try and start one. Mm-hmm. These groups, you're not the only one who's isolated with a 2-year-old. You're not the only one. And there are many, many women out there who are trying to do this parenting thing, and it's really tough, especially when you're alone. So I would encourage you to reach out to some of these groups, because they can become the family that you are separated from right now.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was just telling a coworker today that my mom made such a big deal of our birthdays growing up, and I actually share my birthday with one of my sisters. We're just 3 days apart, a year and 3 days.
Aww.
And it was such a big deal. And then my mom passed away when I was 24. And it seems, I know it's almost a decade, but it always seems like yesterday. So with my birthday right around the corner, and I work for a bunch of attorneys, so things get stressful. So today was just one of those days where everything was kind of compounding on top of each other. So when I saw you stick up the phone line, I haven't called before, but I was like, I'm going to call tonight, and it's going to be my birthday treat to just say hello and tell Megan thank you for everything she's doing.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did. And I just really want to encourage you to reach out to some moms groups, moms with young children, and try and make some new connections. make some connections at a church or a community group or wherever. Even if you don't belong to that church or you don't believe in that religion, it really doesn't matter. MOPS takes everybody, so it doesn't matter. And we did like cooking days where we would all make freezer meals together. I really have some of the best memories of my life at that group with those women. So I just would
thank you for that. I'm definitely going to check that out and see what I can do.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you, Megan. Thank you, chat.
Have a great night.
You too.
You guys, I love you guys. I love you guys. Yeah, the homeschooling groups are good too. I mean, look, it's really important not to be isolated. And COVID like retrained everyone to be like completely isolated from one another. If you weren't isolated before, you sure are now. Spirit Matter MOPS is cool. If you're a member of MOPS, and like I was on the steering committee for a while, they actually sent us to a training and it was in Texas, and it was like all the MOPS leaders from all across the country come. And it's like a pyramid scheme without the pyramid, right? Because no one's making any money, no one's selling you anything. It's just a group of women who love one another and want to help one another get through momhood. And it's wonderful. I couldn't believe how great it was. We had, and it's a ministry, so churches are interested in doing it because it's a ministry. It's an outreach to the community. And you want to talk about a group of people who really need outreach and need a break. That would be moms of preschoolers. Moms of preschoolers really need a break because whether they're single moms or not single moms, they're tired. They're tired and they're cranky and they're sleep deprived and they're lonely and their shirts are always dirty. And look, you will never find a place that's more understanding than another group of moms going through the same thing. Like those days saved me. I looked forward to MOPS days like nobody's business. We would plan them. We would have authors come and speak sometimes, but it's really just an excuse for moms to get together, have some brunch without children screaming, because the older ladies at church would volunteer to be in the nursery and do the child care. It's a great organization and it's a great program. It's very inexpensive. I think it was $40 to sign up for the whole year, which is like 6 months. I think it's like half a year because in the summer you take the time off. But yeah, it's not much. It may have gone up a little bit since then. But if you can't afford it, most churches will give you a scholarship to go. I mean, it's an outreach ministry and it's really needed. And if you're an older lady, by the way, and you are, let's say, a grandma and you want to go and help some of these moms, you can volunteer at a MOPS. Find a local MOPS and go volunteer to do some childcare for these moms, because these moms need it, you guys. They need it so bad. I was one of them. And MOPS saved me. They saved me. There's mothers of preschoolers, and I think there's also another one that after that's like mothers of, I don't know, school-aged kids. I don't know what they call it. But it's a great ministry, and I know how tired you guys are. I know it because I've been there. And I remember it like yesterday. I remember how down you would get, how down I could get, and how despondent I could become when my entire life seemed like it was just never going anywhere. Like it was just constant, nonstop crankiness, tiredness, cleaning up, accidents, and Cheerios. I know. I remember. John says we had a pops group at the local bar. Probably why I'm divorced. Probably. It's good that you're self-aware. It is. All right, you guys, I got to go check out the sleepover. So I think we're going to kill the phone lines. That was some great calls. I'm really proud of my chat. I really love you guys. I really appreciate it when you call in, you take the time to call and tell me about what's going on with you. And I appreciate every dollar that you send to this program to support it. It's amazing to me that you do that. And I love you for it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to check out meganfox.locals.com. We're having so much fun over there. We're having so much fun. We're doing some movies. And what time is it right now? It's still early. All right. So I promise this, we're going to do Bachelor episode number 2 on Locals tonight. If you go and sign up on meganfox.locals.com, We are going to, I'm going to do it tonight, probably I need to go spend some time with the girls, make sure everybody, the little one's got everything he needs. It is 8 o'clock now. Let's say 10 p.m. Let's do episode 2 of The Bachelor at 10 p.m. Spirit Matter, thanks for saying that. I think we should put more positive energy out into the universe. And so if there's anything I can do, to help you guys, I want to. MOPS was a real passion of mine. I became a very passionate member of MOPS. I was on the steering committee. It was something I believed in because I felt like it truly saved me so much heartache. It connected me with some of the best friends I still have today. At a time in my life when young moms need guidance so much. And it was a place where older moms would come in and be a mentor to the group, and you could go to them anytime you needed something or advice. Everyone was like it was a cool hive mind where you share advice. And one of the best ones we did was a lesson on hospitality and learning how to be hospitable and inviting people into your home. And we also did the Fly Lady. You guys know how much I love the Fly Lady, learning about how to clean and not being a perfectionist when it comes to cleaning, and learning that doing it poorly, being medium good is okay. It's okay to be medium smart, and it's okay if it's medium clean. It's better than dirty. Okay. So there's just a lot of good things, at MOPS and for these young moms. MILF Manor, I cannot get into. It's too negative. I'm telling you what, I can't. I tried. I actually thought it was going to be funny. Nick and I watched one episode on one of his late streams, and we were both horrified. I thought we were going to spend it laughing, and we were not laughing. We were like, what? So no, I will not be watching that. But The Bachelor, for sure, is way good silliness, you guys. It's such good silliness. So get on to meganfox.locals.com. Sub for $5 a month. It's cheap. We've been doing like movies every night for a couple nights now because I don't have Mr. Fox isn't here, so I don't need to go entertain him. I'm just on my own. The kids are all entertained. They've got friends, so we're good. And but yeah, 10 o'clock locals. Get over there, meganfox.locals.com. Sign up, look for the notification. Make sure you turn your notifications on. If you don't turn them on, you won't get them. And if you got to be there live or you miss it, because I'm running out of memory. All right, guys. I love you. See you later.
I was so lost, my world is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. Oh, and my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna stay. No, I don't wanna say goodbye. This time I know my road is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive, I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. And my heart, million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. No, I don't wanna say
So I take it that
Johnny's
you've
problem
seen
is he
Cameron
should have
John's
come
bedroom
storming
before.
in there with
Yeah.
a string of
Do you
garlic
recall what
and
we
some
went
holy
into
water.
Mr. Judson
Across
Resort's
the
bedroom
crucifixion
with?
one.
May the
Do you
power of
recall,
Christ
or no,
compel you.
No, I don't.
He realized his house was infested with
Just after
succubuses.
that,
And
there's a picture I'll share with you of what it, yes. Do you recall what that was there when you arrived in the afternoon? I don't remember seeing it now. So while she
No wonder he said drown her before you burn her.
oh my god.
You-
Your next witness?
Now I know
Witness
why
Your
he
Honor,
wanted to
Melanie
drown her.
Iglesias, and that
Next
is
witness
also
lives in
by
Romania.
video.
Is that correct?
That begins with Miss Van-